6 o'clock, I'd like to call this meeting to order and ask everyone to please rise for Pledge of Allegiance and prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. John, if you lead us in a prayer, please.
Heavenly Father, we come to you this evening, Lord, and we thank you. We thank you for your Son who died on the cross for us. We thank you for this country. We thank you for this community. Lord, we just ask that everything we say and do tonight would bring honor and glory to you. In Jesus' name I pray.
Amen.
Amen. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's all right.
All right, next up, roll call. I am present. Alderwoman Dent.
Present.
Alderman Kinsey.
Present.
Alderman Whalen.
Present.
Alderman Letchworth.
Present.
City Administrator Burbridge.
Present.
City Clerk Kohler. City Attorney Weber. Public Works Director Payne. Chief of Police Chase. Finance Director Stacy Houston. Economic Development Director Kerry Sutterfield. And the only other city staff I see is Miss Melissa from Parks and Rec. Next item up is the approval of tonight's agenda.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
if I may, we probably need to remove this evening, just due to a mistitling on the agenda, the closed session.
Okay.
Okay?
So
Which
ask
one
the
was
board
that?
to add that into your motion.
Make a
Okay.
motion to approve tonight's agenda with removing the closed session portion from our meeting.
Do I have a second?
I second the motion.
This time I will call for the vote. Alderman Letchworth.
Yes.
Alderwoman Dent.
Yes.
Alderman Whalen.
Yes.
And Alderman Kinsey.
Yes.
And next item up is the consent agenda.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
And do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
This time I will call for the vote. Alderman Kinsey.
Yes.
Alderman Whalen.
Yes.
Alderman Letchworth.
Yes.
Alderwoman Dent.
Yes.
I see we have no one for public comment tonight, so we'll move right along. Next up would be the declaration for the results of the municipal election.
Resolution number 6-2026, a resolution declaring the results of the municipal election held on April 7th, 2026. Be it resolved by the Board of Aldermen of the City of Salem, Missouri as follows. Section 1, the city clerk has presented the Board of Aldermen with the voting results of the municipal election held on April 7th, 2026 as certified by the Dent County Election Authority for the offices of A, 1 mayor to serve a 2-year term, B, 1 alderman from the West Ward of the city to serve a 2-year term, C, 1 alderman from the East Ward of the city to serve a 2-year term. Section 2, the Board of Aldermen, having canvassed the return of the municipal election held on April 7th, 2026, declares the results of said election as follows. Mayor, 2-year term, Greg Parker, 304 votes. West Ward Alderman, 2-year term, Catherine Dent, 112 votes. Kyle Williams, 104 votes. East Ward Alderman, 2-year term, Nathan Kinsey, 76 votes. Dylan McGinnis, 61 votes. Lana Grove, 58 votes. Section 3, this resolution shall be in full force and effect from and after the date of its passage and approval.
Thank you. This time, do I have a motion for Resolution 6-2026?
I make a motion to approve Resolution 6-2026.
And do I have a second?
I'll second.
I will call for the vote. Alderman Whalen.
Yes.
Alderman Kinsey.
Yes.
Alderwoman Dent.
Yes.
And Alderman Letchworth.
Yes.
Now it's time to administrate the oath of office.
Do you want up here or down below?
Whichever.
It depends. We'll stay up here. I'm not as young as I used to be. If I have to crawl down there, try to pick stuff.
So we will just all three at the same time.
Yeah. Go get them. Oh, come on, put the shades on, buddy. Congratulations.
I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I possess all qualifications for
I do solemnly swear that I possess all qualifications for mayor or alderman as prescribed by law.
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the state of Missouri,
And I will support the Constitution of the United States and the state of Missouri,
the provisions of all laws of this state affecting cities of this class,
the provisions of all laws of this state affecting cities of this class,
and the ordinances of the city of Salem, Missouri,
and the ordinances of the city of Salem, Missouri,
and faithfully demean myself in office, so help me God.
and faithfully demean myself in office, so help me God.
Congratulations. Okay, and then I will also need you guys to sign, you'll have to sign two, and then I keep one, and then you.
Need a pen?
I'll give yours.
You need a picture.
Come on. Hat on or hat off? Hat on. Oh, I see.
Hat on,
Hat on.
cover it up.
Probably with your certificates.
Is my hair back down?
It looks good.
No, I'm leaving the hat off.
It looks good. It's not as nice as mine, but it's pretty good.
Call me Q-Tip. And before we continue, I'd like to personally thank my lovely wife back there. It's kind of holding her head and putting her head down for continuing to support me in my choice of pursuing this role of public office. You know it's low when your wife listens to you ramble on like I'm doing right now and it's continuously rolling her eyes. I also want to thank my father and my mother-in-law for their continued support, and my father-in-law always interrogating me, making sure that I make the right choices, and always asking me to explain why we choose to do what we do. And he definitely keeps me on my toes. Thank you, Dave. All right, moving right along, we have reorganization of the boards. At this time, I'm going to need a motion for first board president.
I'll make a motion for Letchworth to be board president.
Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Well, at this time, I'll call for the vote. Alderman Kinsey.
Yes.
Alderman Whalen.
Yes.
Alderwoman Dent.
Yes.
And Alderman Letchworth.
Yes.
All right, committee appointments. Everybody ready for the long, lengthy list? We'll start off by planning and zoning. We have Keith Inman as chair, serve for 2020 until 2027. Sherman Odom will be serving, he's been serving since 2024, so he's up for reappointment. Kyle Williams for vice chair. Dr. Wayne Burtz as secretary, and a new addition of Rick Stiegel. Board of Adjustments, Bob Parsons for chairman, Ryan Whitaker, Rob Benowitz, Martin Kulik, and Kyle Williams. For next up, we have Park and Rec Board, Crystal Pilkington, Angie Curley, Carlos Lopez is serving as president, Christy Rushing, Luke Heithold, and Kayla Cisco. For the Finance Committee, we have Alderman John Whalen as chairman, Alderman Rick Letchworth as co-chair, David Weiss, Patty McEwen, Kyle Williams, and Lauren Tolman. Utility Committee, Alderman Nathan Kinsey will be serving as chairman, Alderman John Whalen as co-chair, David Weiss, Kyle Williams, Lauren Tolman. Community involvement. We have Alderwoman Catherine Dent will be serving as chair, Alderman John Whalen for co-chair, Roma Jones, Skip Dom, Dylan McGinnis, Carly McGinnis, Dana Sandberg, Amber Harrison, Christina Sells, Trina Potts, and Jeanette White. Airport Board, be serving on that will be, first and foremost, we have Administrator Burbridge will be there. We have Alderman Nathan Kinsey will be serving. Tyler Naramore as president, Jim Haven as vice president, John Maholka as secretary, John Malady, Steve Spencer, Rich Parks, and Chris Holliday. Capital improvement. We will have Alderman Rick Letchworth as chairman, Alderman John Whalen as co-chair, Annie Deathridge, Danita Williams, Lauren Prue, and Michael Rushing. Enhanced Enterprise Zone, we have Dan Salyer, Willie Strader, Jamie Holmeyer, Dean Jones, Dustin Howard, Jeff Dotson, and Nathan Wills. And I think that covers all of that. At this time, do I have a motion for committee appointments?
I'll make a motion for committee appointments.
Yes.
There is a change on the park board.
Mm-hmm.
Bayless Scope has resigned,
Okay.
and I believe at one of our most recent meeting, you appointed James Taylor.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need to scratch that out and change it on my list. Well, I'm glad that you caught it, so I'd rather change it now.
Need to make a motion again now that we have James on there.
Would you like me to reread through all of that again? I don't. Oh, no, I don't. I think that we can accept it with those changes that you just recommended.
If Alderman Whalen is willing to amend his motion.
Yep.
Yes.
All right.
Now with the addition of James, I make a motion to approve appointments.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
At this time, I will call for the vote. Alderman Whalen,
Yes.
Alderman Kinsey,
Yes.
Alderwoman Dent,
Yes.
and Alderman Letchworth.
Yes.
Next up, we have the audit presentation. Ms. Krista DeLuca, would you like to come on up?
But this is your audit report for the fiscal year ending June 30th of 2025. I'm sure you're all aware, but you had to have an additional audit this year, what we call a single audit, and that's because you spent more than $750,000 in federal funding. Okay, so that added another 10 pages to the back of this. That's probably where I'll spend most of my time tonight because it's new, and I just want you to know what's there. But I will work through this pretty quickly, show you the highlights, so you know what's in there. If you have any questions today, though, just stop, okay? If you'll turn to page 1, you'll find the independent auditor's report. The city received what we call an unmodified opinion, and that means that after performing the audit procedures, I feel these financial statements are fairly stated, okay? Those statements get started on page 5 with the statement of net position. This shows you the assets, liabilities, and the remaining net position. It's broken down between your governmental activities and your business type activities, and then it shows you the city as a whole in the column on the far right. So looking at that total column, you'll see the first subtotal shows you the city had assets on June 30th of $40,729,000. Middle of the page shows you the liabilities came to $10,852,000, leaving you with, on the bottom line, a net position of $30,662,000. Okay? The next statement on pages 6 and 7 is the statement of activities. This shows you the revenues and the expenses for the fiscal year. On the left-hand side, it's broken down between major program or function to give you an idea of how those performed before we added in general revenues, okay? On page 7, there, the third line from the bottom shows you the change in net position for the fiscal year. So for example, your governmental activities reported an increase in net position of $2,223,000. Your business type activities had an increase of $3,469,000. The city as a whole, $5,691,000.
Okay.
Statements 3 and 4 are just more detail on your governmental funds. So these are the statements you'll use if you want to see how general did, park did. If you want to look at those individually, you want to look at statements 3 and 4, okay? So for example, on pages 10 and 11, this is the statement of revenues and expenses for those governmental activities. If you look at the third line from the bottom, you'll see the general fund had an increase of $1.4 million, park an increase of $41,000, and so on. Okay? Statements 5 and 6 will do the same thing for your business type activities. So here you'll find the breakdown, electric, water, sewer, so on. If you'll turn to statement 6, which is on pages 14 and 15, and look at the third line from the bottom, you'll see that electric had an increase in net position of $1.6 million, water had an increase of $915,000, and so on. Okay, there's one more statement I'll point out. It's the next one, statement 7. This is the cash flow statement. You're only required to prepare this for your business type activities. So you won't see this for general or park. Okay, but this shows you what happened to your cash during the year. Actual cash in, cash out. In the middle of the page, 2/3 down maybe, you'll see the net increase or decrease in cash for the year for each fund. Okay? The next major section starts on page 20. These are the notes to the financial statements. I haven't counted, but I bet there's 15 to 20 pages here of required disclosures. They'll explain the statements that I just went over with you, and they'll give you some more information on the significant balances. Okay? But then I want to go to the new section, page 44. This is where we start the single audit piece. Okay? On page 44 is the schedule of expenditures of federal awards. This shows you the funding source for all federal dollars spent during the fiscal year. Okay? This is why you had to have a single audit for this period.
Right.
Okay? Page 46 is the independent auditor's report on internal control. I am very pleased to report there were no written findings.
Good.
Okay?
Thank you.
On page 48 is the independent auditor's report on compliance with your federal programs. So this is the single audit piece. There were no findings. And I congratulated Stacy already, but that's a big deal. That's rare for me to see, especially when you haven't had a single audit in so long. You forget some of the little ins and outs on it. But everything I asked for, Stacy was able to provide. We were able to check the compliance boxes, and we're in really good shape. Page 51. This is what's called the schedule of findings and question costs. This is all good news. All those no's mean there were no issues we needed to report or take further. Okay? Then there's one loose letter in the back. You get this every year. It's required at the end of the audit for me to provide to the board. It gives us a chance to talk about any issues that may have come up or challenges I faced. Everything went very smoothly. Like I said, it was a lot of work. It was a lot of extra documentation we had to go through, but it was passed with flying colors.
All right.
Do you have any questions for me tonight?
How many years have you been doing this for the city of Salem?
Oh, I'd have to go back and look.
A bunch?
It's been a few, yeah.
A couple that I can think of.
Okay,
Maybe 10?
okay. How many other municipalities do you do this for?
Right now, probably 6 total.
6? Okay,
Yep.
all right.
If we have any like further questions, we can email your contact.
Absolutely.
correct?
My phone number and email are all in here, multiple places.
Okay.
Reach out anytime.
Okay.
Kristen, I know in years past, there's always been a statement about delegation of duties in ours. Is that in this year's audit?
It is not. I was able to remove it.
So one of the things, you know, we've talked in the past about the addition of Devin to staff. And one of the things that he has allowed us to do is to provide for that delegation of duties among different departments of the city so that we no longer have that statement. So I just wanted to point that out.
Thanks,
That's a
Dave.
good point.
Appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you, Ms. Chris.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up, we got a request for street closure. Tana Kettner.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Tana Kettner, and I'm representing, there you go, the SACPA and also the Salem Area Arts Council. I'm the Vice President of Arts Council, and Danielle Norris, she's the President of Arts Council. I'm also on the SACPA board. But anyway, we'd like to request, well, in the past, we've done a art in the parking lot of the complex of SACPA, ONCRC, the farmers market and so on. And we have kind of outgrown that, and we also had some conflict at having been the same time as the farmers market. So it was brought up to us of the idea of bringing it to 4th Street and trying to do it there. And we kind of like that idea. We had already set the date for September 26th from 10 to 3 was what we were thinking. And we just wondered if we could request the blocking off of that, maybe from the Bank of Salem up to at least the local, maybe those 2 blocks on that day. So it would be a Saturday, the 26th. And then I guess I'd also put in there some question marks. We've never done this before. And so I know that other events, they bring in porta potties and stuff like that. I don't know how we would go about that. If you do that and if we pay, how, I don't know anything about that part of it. And then we'd like to get some bleachers. And I know the city brought in bleachers for us at the, when we were over at the complex. So that would be another thing. If you have some questions about the art in the parking lot, Danielle has some
Or
more
yeah, if you
things.
want like a breakdown of kind of what we do, we can share that with you.
Up to the board.
I've been to,
I'm good.
how long would you want the streets blocked for?
I think we said, was it
10 to 3.
Well,
10 to
it's 10 to 3, but yeah, we would, that would be the main part,
So we're gonna
yes.
set
10 to
up.
We'll be setting up,
Yeah,
but,
It's their job.
okay. We're hoping that maybe we can get the bank courtesy room or something where we can put our things in there. So then, at 10 o'clock, we can start pulling things out and getting it up and that kind of thing.
Okay.
And then at the end would be taking down, kind of the same thing.
All right, thank you.
If I may, I'm thinking if they're wanting the road closed at 10, it's probably easier to close it earlier in the morning before cars get parked and
Oh, good point.
yeah, and block it off earlier in the morning. Just, like I said, just because of
a
the,
little bit of time to set up because we'll have the.
Right.
That's what I was trying to get at.
right, for setup and like I said, so that folks don't already come downtown and start
Yeah.
parking.
Yeah.
We had that issue even in the parking lot.
So what do you think, 8,
Or earlier.
7?
7?
7 or
Chief?
6?
Do you have any suggestions if they're closing off 4th Street between the Bank of Salem and the local, how early in the morning if their event starts at 10? Okay, 8. Okay.
Okay. Give them 2 hours.
I can't hear him.
That should be.
Okay, so 8 a.m. Okay.
What about tear down? How long would, you need time to tear down?
It usually goes pretty fast for tear down.
Okay.
All the people last year, even in our parking lot complex, pretty much within I would say a little over 30 minutes was completely packed up, so
So do
Okay.
we want to give an additional hour?
Yeah.
that'd
Yeah.
be great.
So 8 to
Because
5?
We have a cushion.
Okay.
8 to 5 then? Is that what we're looking at?
4 probably.
Oh, 4, okay.
Yeah. That's good.
All right. Any other questions?
No, I'm
All right, do I have a
good.
motion?
I make a motion to approve the request.
Do I have a second?
I second the motion.
This time we'll call for the vote. Alderman Whalen.
Yes.
Alderwoman Dent.
Yes.
Alderman Letchworth.
Yes.
Alderman Kinsey.
Yes.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
You're
Now,
welcome.
Do you, as far as the porta potties and stuff, is there
I
another
don't- that's
question for
not-
that? It doesn't involve you guys at all?
It never has it?
No.
I mean,
Okay.
We find out by ourselves.
Because we didn't go
Yeah.
that extent, but so.
Sure,
so we have provided porta potties for the rally.
we have.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think?
It's up to you
Yeah,
all.
To me, I don't see a
What do you
problem.
think?
It's not a problem.
Huh?
I think it's a problem.
don't
Steve,
think
you
it
want to
is?
put that on your list?
Okay.
Okay with these guys?
Yeah.
And bleachers?
Yep.
Well, and that's bleachers is more of a Melissa question, right, Melissa? So that's it, kind of specific to parks.
Yeah. Yeah, we did bring it on Friday.
Like inflatable bleachers,
Yeah, if it's downtown on the street, that's a problem.
Yeah.
like a blow-up balloon or something.
If we got permission from Skip Dom or something like that, if we could put him in front of his business or something, then maybe, I know that they were light enough that we could
Bleachers.
move them out to
Where
the
they gonna
street
set 'em?
after
In the
that.
street?
I guess.
Yeah,
Or maybe off like to the
or
side.
take up a park, yeah, yeah, that'd be good.
I'm sure they probably
Okay.
figured
Yeah,
out.
that'd be good.
Boy, I wish we had an
Okay.
amphitheater.
Got that all
Thank you
worked
so
out.
much.
Thank
Yeah,
you guys.
I think we're good.
Really appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, next up, we got board and committee appointment for the Salem Housing Authority. They're asking for Brandon Snyder to serve in place of late Richard LaBrash's passing
Okay.
for the remainder of his seat.
You need a motion?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the Brandon Snyder for the Salem Housing Authority.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
This time I'll call for the vote. Alderman Whalen,
Yes.
Alderman Kinsey,
Yes.
Alderwoman Dent,
Yes.
and Alderman Letchworth.
Yes.
All right, next up, it's my turn. So this evening, I'd like to take a moment to recognize an institution that plays a vital role in our community. It's the Salem Public Library. Libraries are much more than buildings that house books. They are places of learning and opportunity. They serve residents of all ages by supporting education and encouraging lifelong learning, providing access to information and offering a welcome space to our community to come together. Each year, the communities across the country observe National Library Week, a time to set aside to celebrate the important contributions of libraries and library professionals make every day. This year, National Library Week is observed April 19th through April the 25th, and is especially fitting that we recognize the dedication and impact of our local library and its staff. The Salem Public Library continues to be a valued resource for our citizens, supporting students, families, and lifelong learners while strengthening our community. Tonight is my honor this evening on behalf of the city to present a proclamation recognizing the National Library Week and express our appreciation for the Salem Public Library and those who work so diligently to serve our community. If you ladies wouldn't mind, come on up.
Another photo session? We may have to have one of the town meetings, one photo session.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, come
It don't happen very often.
on. No. You think he was running for office?
Walking in this jail. All right, next item up is to amend the previous motion to approve the bid for a mid-state pipeline for the wastewater treatment.
Good evening, Mayor, Alderman.
Evening.
Evening.
Let's see, we're starting with, okay, the digester project. Okay, so at the last meeting, I ran you through, this is the lift for it's 3 different panels, basically, a FEMA mitigation project to make sure that these don't get damaged or don't become inoperative in another flood event. So when I contacted Mid-State Pipeline and said the board approved the second bid, not the lowest bid, but the second bid because of the reasoning of timeline and ensuring that the contractor that's doing the project is one that we wholly trust to get it done. There was a miscommunication, so when I asked them to give me the contract to put before you, the cost savings I was told was going to be, so they came in at $169,700 initially, and the cost savings I was told was going to be $10K, that they had $10K mapped out. It turns out the $10K that the project individual I was talking to he was talking about a couple of panels that they were going to put in that they were not going to charge us for. That was the $10K savings. And I said, well, I've went to the board and I've got a number. And so they went ahead and walked me through what they call not contingency costs, but costs that savings that we should get would be, let me find it here. Putting the contract together, cost savings to be $5,200 with a potential savings of another $3,000 if the wire that they're pulling is reusable. This changes the overall cost of the project to $164,500. The board would need to amend the contract approval for an increase of $4,800. And like I said, given our experience with these vendors, the fact Mid-State Pipeline is currently working the Phase 2A project, we'd recommend that change to the contract.
Okay.
So that we can get this process going. Apologies, they surprised me with this one, so. Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
It was to me when I was looking at it. I was like, oh, good Lord. So,
And I see this comes out of prior year fund balance, right?
yes. And that will change the amount we will pay from $39,925 to $41,125.
So not really a whole
So,
lot difference.
And this is, we either leave them on the ground and we run the risk of flood damage again. Tonight, there's a couple of topics about this, raising things so that we ensure this doesn't happen to staff and the public well after we're gone.
Right.
So it's about planning for the future, so
It will happen again.
I believe it.
I mean, we had 200-year floods in a 7-year span, 2017, 2024. We'll probably see another one. And I think it's for us to accept that and elevate them as recommended.
And I've spoke with the engineers. Was it Perryville? Perryville had a flood that took over, like ours, went over their levee wall and got their plant by a couple of foot. And then it happened again within, I forget how many years, and it went 6 feet over. So we're just, we're not the only ones dealing with these issues. So I think the stronger we make our plant, the better off we are.
I agree.
All right, is there any discussion?
No discussion.
All right, do I have a motion?
Based on the recommendations of the Public Works Director, I'll make a motion to approve the amendment.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, excuse me, sorry, Mayor. The wording needs to be very specific
That's what I
to
thought.
what's on the staff agenda in order to make it right, since it's an amendment.
Okay,
Okay.
so,
Didn't I say amendment?
Huh?
Didn't I say
Yeah, but
amendment?
it needs to be all this verbiage
yep,
stated.
Recommended motion moved to amend the previously adopted motion on March 10th, 2026, approving an amount of $159,700 for the wastewater treatment plant Phase 2 improvements by striking $159,700 and thereby increasing the amount to $164,500. You're welcome. I can read barely.
all right.
I'll second that motion.
This time I will call for the vote. Alderman Whalen?
Yes.
Alderman Letchworth?
Yes.
Alderman Kinsey?
Yes.
And Alderwoman Dent.
Yes.
Next up is the reading of bills. Second reading for bill number 3700.
Bill number 3700, an ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Salem, Missouri to accept and execute an access easement from HMH Properties LLC for permanent access and utility purposes.
Thank you.
So this was on for you all last meeting. This is the access easement, 2 access easements with HMH, otherwise known as DMK fencing, for access to the,
Pretreatment.
yes, the
Yeah.
water pretreatment building.
Yes.
All right, there's no discussion.
No.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the access easement granted to HMH Properties.
Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
This time I will call for the vote. Alderman Kinsey?
Yes.
Alderman Whalen?
Yes.
Alderwoman Dent?
Yes.
And Alderman Letchworth.
Yes.
Next up for new and miscellaneous business, we have resolution number 4-2026.
So this is the lease that's referenced in the access easement. So the lease is for a period of, so there's 2 years rent-free in exchange for the access easements, and then for 10 years after that at $100 a month,
Okay.
automatically renewed for 2 consecutive 5-year terms if no action's taken by either party. So,
Okay.
Any further discussion?
We've discussed it a couple of times. I'm ready to make a motion.
All right, waiting on you, buddy.
Can I make a motion to approve new and miscellaneous business resolution number 4, 2026?
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
There's no discussion. I'll call for the vote. Alderman Whalen?
Yes.
Alderman Kinsey?
Yes.
Alderman Letchworth?
Yes.
And Alderwoman Dent.
Yes.
All right, moving right along. Next up, resolution number 7-2026.
Resolution number 7-2026, a resolution approving a contract for control panel improvements and authorizing the mayor to execute the same.
Any discussion?
I should already know this, but this is for the control panels at the wastewater treatment?
Yes. Steve?
Okay.
That was just talking
I
about.
was-
yes,
yeah.
sir.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 7, 2026.
Do Do I have a second?
I'll second.
There is no further discussion. I'll call for the vote. Alderman Whalen?
Yes.
Alderman Kinsey?
Yes.
Alderwoman Dent?
Yes.
And Alderman Letchworth?
Yes.
Next up is the sale of surplus equipment through Purple Wave.
So these are vehicles and equipment that staff has identified to move out of our fleet. So you'll see a few of those are 40 years old. But
That junk off our lot.
if there are any questions, myself, Steve, and Chris will be happy to attempt to
I have
answer.
no questions.
No, no, we're good.
You're thinking about buying them Husqvarnas, aren't you?
Swap and shop up here. This time, do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the sale for these.
Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
This time, I'll call for the vote. Alderman Kinsey?
Yes.
Alderman Whalen?
Yes.
Alderman Letchworth?
Yes.
Alderwoman Dent?
Yes.
Next item up, we have camera system for the city park bid.
I'm Jonathan.
Hi, Jonathan.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I didn't write this up. Jonathan did all the legwork in it because we wanted to make sure that whatever we had was compatible with the PD. But I will present it, so if you guys have any questions, I will not know the answer, but I will pretend like I do.
I'm thankful to see this, though.
Me too.
Yeah.
We
Yeah, this
opened the
is-
bathrooms on a Friday, and Monday we came in and there was toilet paper and all the trees from the bathrooms that we just opened. So this will be really nice.
Yeah.
I'm excited. And I appreciate him putting in the effort because he's way smarter with camera stuff than I am, so.
Yeah, it's just the constant hassle that we've had at our city parks being vandalized and destroyed. It's just gotten out of hand till we have to reach this point, so.
So will be in addition to the existing cameras we have?
Yes, not all of them would go to the PD. The ones we have at the pool will still be able to be read via the app that we have for that, but this is new. The PD will access.
But like the bathroom would have been videoed?
Yes, not in the bathroom, but being
Right,
able to
right,
see
right. No,
doors,
no, no.
yes.
Right, I wanted you to say that.
Yeah,
Okay. And maybe we can eliminate some of the vandalism?
that's the hope, yes. They should be able to track movement after
How much
certain
we
times.
spend a year, you think, this ballpark, on vandalism in the park?
It just depends.
Is it significant?
It's quite a bit in
Okay.
time, a lot of time.
A lot of time?
You know,
Okay.
graffiti paint removal stuff isn't really expensive, but it takes a lot of time to remove it.
And when we did the Christmas lights, we had vandalism issues, didn't we?
Yes,
Made
we
it
did.
almost impossible to do.
We just recently had to repair the dugouts for the high school softball field because somebody took it upon themselves to just,
Excuse me?
the softball field
Oh, okay, I
dugouts,
thought you said
yeah.
high school football,
Well, high
softball
school.
field. It's the cities.
Well, they play, yeah, it's the
Yeah.
cities, but yeah.
Yeah.
The dugouts have been pushed apart where the metal comes together because they were,
Okay. Would the camera systems been able to catch that?
I think it would because you'd be catching people who are coming in and out.
Okay. Well, I think it's much needed. It's sad that we have to do that, but it's needed.
If there's no further discussion, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to move forward with a park camera bid from, bear with me, Rommel Lock and Alarm for the amount of $14,250.
Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
This time I'll call for the vote. Alderman Kinsey?
Yes.
Alderman Whalen?
Yes.
Alderman Letchworth?
Yes.
Alderwoman Dent?
Yes.
Thank you. I know it's a lot of money, but I appreciate you guys supporting, keeping our stuff nice, so thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Next up, we have the animal shelter improvements.
So the summary you have in front of you is a part of our CIP from last year, capital improvements, and this was a part of our shelter repair. What this will basically be replacing is the windows in the front office area, the front door, and all of the sliding windows that run through all the kennels, the cat room, things like that. They're not as efficient, and they're always, and so we have some that are non-functioning, some that don't work at all. And so with this new system, it will allow us to more easily heat and cool, especially like with the temperatures we're having now. We can open up windows instead of having to run air or run heat. And the bid on that is not correct for some reason. The Roberts Judson bid was, I don't know why that one's off.
$5,000.
50-45 or something like that.
It's 50-55.
55.
Yeah, and so that puts them in the .95 range, especially there. It's actually a better bid than Menards. And Menards was somewhat not
Is it in here too?
participating. I'm sorry.
It's right there, you just passed it.
Yeah, there were, both bids
Go
are
back
there,
there.
Menards.
There's Menards.
And they were not very committed to the project. It was just like, hey, yeah, you just come pick it up. And whereas Judson's offers warranty, service after the sale. And,
Probably deliver it too.
well, and delivery, that's free charge. And so our local resource was a better option. And
Is that your recommendation?
it is our recommendation that we go with the bid from
I
Roberts
agree.
Judson, so.
Any discussion? No. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve the bid from Robertson Justin's for the repairs to the animal shelter.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
This time I'll call for the vote. Alderman Letchworth.
Yes.
Alderman Kinsey.
Yes.
Alderwoman Dent.
Yes.
And Alderman Whalen.
Yes.
As a side note, we had our inspection from the Department of Agriculture today. Animal shelter scored perfect. No remarks, no dings or anything. Everything was in complete order, like they liked. That's the first time that's happened since we reopened it. So things are moving along well.
Thank you guys for all the hard work out there.
Appreciate it.
Dawson and Chloe, they're
Yeah.
the ones that make it happen.
Next item up, we got Resolve IT Services.
So we currently use Resolve IT, and this is a renewal of their services for April 2026 through April 2027, to continue to use their services to manage our servers and network.
Open it up for discussion.
None.
Do you have a motion?
I'll make a motion to renew the IT services with Resolve.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Tom, I'll call for the vote. Alderman Whalen?
Yes.
Alderman Kinsey?
Yes.
Alderwoman Dent?
Yes.
And Alderman Letchworth?
Yes.
Next item up, reading the bills for the first and second reading for bill number 3703.
Bill number 3703, an ordinance approving change order number 3 for the Salem wastewater treatment facility Phase 2A improvements project and authorizing the mayor to execute the same. Permission to read second reading by caption only.
Yes, please.
Bill number 3703, an ordinance approving change order number 3 for the Salem wastewater treatment facility Phase 2A improvements project and authorizing the mayor to execute the same.
Thank you. Little discussion with this. or?
This is a request for change order contract extension so that they can make sure they get the materials that they need. Some of the electrical stuff's taking some time.
Nothing.
Sorry, am I jumping in on the wrong
Nope,
spot?
you're fine.
So, for the necessary to accomplish the IMPS pumps installation. So, they're having a hard time getting some of that material. So this would,
Yeah, I was a little confused with two staff summaries.
okay.
There are
all
two
right.
staff summaries for the one resolution,
Okay.
because
Yeah.
it's a change order for time and for amount.
I could have lumped them together, but I was feeling extra, so I typed out two forms. Sorry, this is a request for the approval. This is request to reallocate and elevate. This is another looking forward panel that they're going to put into an existing position on the ground, low level that you can walk up to panel. And they realized as they're doing the process out there, keep in mind, when all this was engineered out, we hadn't had the flood, the November flood. So this is another one of those panels that they're like, they got a hold of me and they said, hey, Steve, you're going to want this leachate pump station panel to be elevated. So they drew out plans and they gave us this quote of $94.28 for engineering materials and construction to put one more panel up onto the UV station, which is, it's easily a 6 foot up above, if not more by the time you mount the panel. So this is, I hate to ask, but this is one of those necessary evils to make sure that we set our, our public up for success in the future. So this work is part of the 2A upgrades, so it'd be $94.28 to be pulled from prior year funds to elevate another panel. So
Are you all clear on the difference between this one and the other panels we were discussing?
Yeah, it's going up on the UV station versus,
Well, they're all going up on the UV station.
This was
But-
engineered and planned before the flood, and it
Yes.
sounds like a good catch.
This was this was a panel that was engineered originally as part of the 2A, Phase 2A. So we were going to get this new panel regardless, but it was going to be at current elevation. So the other panels that we talked about earlier in the meeting are already there. We already have these panels. But due to the FEMA mitigation, we're elevating those to a higher level. So then it was, okay, so then we'll have this new panel down here.
Right.
This change order is to bring the panel that was already planned for up with the others. Does that make
Yes.
sense? So two distinctly, and we have to be careful through FEMA and through the ARPA funds that are paying for 2A. We've had to send in signed statements from the engineer as well as from staff that, no, these are separate funding pools, we're not double dipping, they're separate pieces.
Okay.
So I just wanted to make sure that you all were clear what the distinction was here,
That's what I thought it was.
so.
And it's not just the possible destruction of this panel in particular, but the fact that the functionality would
Right.
be hampered. We lucked out with the flood we had that Josh and the team went out and were able to get some of this stuff. And it functioned. We lucked out. Some of it did, but.
Is there any way later, later on that we could probably get, after this is all complete, maybe a total cost of how much was spent for just the recovery from the flood?
Just to recover from the flood?
Yeah, from all this elevation that we've had to do.
I mean,
Stacy, you're going to be my hero. Steve, put the pen down. She's got this.
Right.
All right. Any discussion? Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the change order to ensure the finishing of the project with the DNR mandated timelines.
Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
There's no further discussion. I'll call for the vote. Alderman McKenzie.
Yes.
Alderman Whalen.
Yes.
Alderwoman Dent.
Yes.
Alderman Letchworth.
yes.
Next up, we got reports of city officials, boards, and committees. Sally, would you like to go first?
so I just wanted to give you all just kind of update you. We We had issued a few months back a request for proposals for ERP software. So potential replacement of Encode. We received a total of 8 proposals. And so that's a pretty large number of proposals to try to wade through. We have been, we've done several kind of assessments on it. We've had a staff meeting last week where we kind of got together and discussed, okay, how do we move forward with this? We think we might know what our top 3 are, but each of us kind of from the meeting, we each kind of had homework where we took, okay, let's take the actual printed versions of each of these and dig into them a little deeper and see what additional questions we come up with and make sure that those are the ones we want to maybe move forward with some demonstrations. So we're going to continue working through that process. Like I said, I was surprised that we received 8 of them. So yeah, we had 3 that followed instructions correctly, and another 3 that didn't quite follow them correctly. We told them we'd accept them, but if it came down neck and neck between them and one that followed, that, yeah. So
I agree.
I just wanted to give a quick update, kind of where we are on that. It is in process. It is a pretty big task. So, anyway, just wanted to let you know that that was in process.
All right.
One other piece, I kind of talked with the mayor last week about, so we have put out the the plaster repair work for this building twice. Those bids close later, I think, this week, but we've not so far received any interests. And so kind of looking at changing direction on that. And so rather, if we can't get anyone to respond to a bid for plastering, we kind of want to change direction and look at just overlaying the areas that are in bad condition with drywall. So not tearing out unless it's already coming loose, like in the basement men's restroom ceiling. We'll tear that out, but then go back with drywall there. In all the other places where we have damage, we'll just overlay it. And so maybe in some future generation, if they decide they want to restore it, we won't have torn out sections.
Okay.
So that's kind of where we're at this point. So I'll be looking at reworking that and maybe doing a request for bids for drywalling all the areas we were looking at plaster work plus the old council chambers. So, and see if we can't get some traction that way.
Okay.
So that has been part of the holdup in doing some other things here in the building, is it just not being able to find someone to perform the work. So, okay. So I just wanted to give you an update on that. One other thing, and then I'll end for now. I have been approached, I've had messages from Tom Haynes. Some of you may know him. He is curious about having maybe an art contest to develop a city flag. I don't know if any of you are interested in such a thing, or want to move forward with it. Yeah, I've not explored a lot of conversation with Mr. Haynes at this time, but he has reached out. I know it's been discussed during SACPA meetings about the possibility of doing something, like I said, of a public art contest to develop a city flag. So I just thought I'd throw it out there to you all, see what your interest is, see if it's something you all think you want to move forward with. So.
Never thought about it.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
The city flag.
So, anyway, if any of you would like to reach out to me later about it, please do so, okay?
Okay.
Okay, that's all I have for now.
Thank you.
I want to chime in real quick with my report, and I'll keep it pretty quick. At our next meeting, hopefully, I'm going to have staff draft up. We don't have, I forgot to mention this earlier, we don't have in our ordinances on committees for subcommittees, and by law, we're supposed to. So I would like to put that in front of the board for consideration to add subcommittees to our current ordinance of underneath committees. Maybe try to grow some of them, even though we're struggling right now with a lot of committees. But Also, last but not least, I want to thank the public for everybody that came out and vote. Even though it was a low voter turnout, I think that's one freedom that a lot of us don't exercise enough. I mean, and I would encourage people, if you want your voice to be heard, come out and vote, you know? No matter who you vote for.
Exactly.
But that's all I have for my report. Move right along to Miss Stacy. Come on up and give us some financials and crunch some numbers and not let me look at a calculator.
Okay, so an update on our sales tax revenue. This is what we have collected through March. Revenues continue to come in strong. Year-to-date, we are up to 2% over last year. General fund sales tax has generated $2.6 million year-to-date, with Parks and Rec bringing in approximately $485,000, and capital improvement sales tax has brought in $647,000. And if you'll scroll down just a little bit, Sally, the graph illustrates a year-to-year comparison if anyone likes to look at graphs. Okay, if there's no questions on that slide, we'll move on to utility usages and revenues. So year-to-date of this fiscal year, and again, this is through the end of March, we have billed around 39 million kilowatt hours. That is up slightly 1% compared to the same time frame as last year, generating 5.3 million in sales revenues. Purchase of power, that is what the city pays to MPUA to provide power to us. We paid out 3.9 million. That is 12% more than the same time frame as last year, and that is due to Winter Storm Fern that happened in February. Water consumption, we have billed around 93 million gallons. That's down slightly compared to last year. Water revenues generated is around 878,000. On sewer consumption, we billed around 87 million gallons, and sewer revenues billed is at 1.2 million. Okay, next slide, unless you have any questions. Okay, this slide lists all of the city funds. It shows the beginning balance of this fiscal year, then the revenues and expenditures, and any transfers between funds. Then the last column shows the ending balance in each fund as of March 31st. And then at the very bottom shows the total of all funds comes to just under $17 million. Any questions on that slide? We'll move to the next one. Okay, this last slide shows the total fund revenues and expenditures compared to what has been budgeted. Through 9 months of the fiscal year, the city has brought in 65% of budgeted revenues and 58% of budgeted expenditures. Both revenues and expenditures are trending behind what we would have expected for this point of the year, and that is due to grant-related revenues and expenditures occurring later than originally anticipated. That's all I have. If anyone has any questions.
No.
No.
No?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Carey, do you have anything tonight? I don't think you do you? I think you have to wait till the end of the month for labor reports. Labor board. Move right along to Steve. Come on up. Let's hear what's going on in the wonderful world of Public Works. Smile. It's not that bad, man.
All right. First off, I'd like to say congrats to the elected officials for your
Congratulations.
elections. Congrats to Stacy for killing it on that audit.
Yes.
Not afraid of audits. We'll get into the wastewater treatment plant. Daily testing continues. Your plant is healthy. Water department, as you've seen and heard, the water tower's up, welded up. Hopefully we'll see them moving to paint work coming up soon. Once they get that one done and operational and online, we can hopefully move towards getting the industrial park tower redone this fall, which will be really exciting to see. All that baby blue, how exciting. Electric-wise, fire hydrants are being maintained across the east side of the city. They'll be doing maintenance on roughly 60 fire hydrants, as well as paint work and documentation on those, checking valves and such. The electric department crew has continued replacing poles at an accelerated rate. These guys are really putting in some work. It's a beautiful thing. They have identified a pole over on 8th Street that's going to need immediate, as immediate as they can. They got the locates in. They plan on replacing it on Friday, and it is a one that they're going to work on. They can't work on hot. It's just too much. So we're gonna have a power outage from 8th Street heading out 19. We'll put more information out in the morning with the exact location of who will be out. They're hoping to do it in an hour. 2 hours is worst case scenario. So we'll start that at roughly sometime 7:45, 8 a.m. prior to 8 a.m. and get kicked off and get it knocked out. So that's the electric. Did anybody have any questions about that? This is a necessary one, and we don't want to put anybody at risk. So they'll knock the power out for a little bit. Construction crew, as you saw, finished up the Salem parking lot there. I thought that was a nice new addition. That's 3-man crew that's out there putting that work in and getting that done. It turned out pretty nice. So they'll be moving on to some other projects. I've got them on. Jennifer Street has a concrete ditch that had a wall fall over, so they've put that back together. They'll be putting steel reinforcement in. They'll be moving around and doing some other, they took care of, we talked about over off of Warfel. They poured that today to help that gentleman with his issues. So street departments stopped what they were doing, and as most folks have seen, we had it's a 6-foot tall culvert that runs underneath Phil Mart's drive-through that was starting to cave in. So street crew stopped what they were doing and built a ramp so that we could help Phil Mart Marathon gas station reroute their traffic around and still utilize their drive-through. While we met with Toth Engineering and walked that down to look at what it's going to take to replace and strengthen basically your stormwater system that runs underneath their drive-through area. So
when we looked at it with Toth, and this is just so that you guys kind of have a heads up, obviously this is not a project we had budgeted.
Yep.
And so they were asking me, so do you have any idea how you're going to pay for this? And it's like, well, we do have reserve funds, we have prior year funds. And they're saying, Steve and I are, I didn't really know what to anticipate, but they're talking hundreds of thousands because we're not going to be able to simply go back in with another metal culvert.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to.
Yeah. So
how old was that culvert? 95?
That's nearest guess, somewhere in that ballpark.
1995?
Yeah.
Roughly.
Yeah.
So
and it runs between the backside of Phil Mart and then
the auction building,
auction house there. So it's going to be a humdinger for sure.
Steve, had that culvert been repaired? Had it been braced?
There were braces up in there. Someone had shoved some dunnage or some.
So it didn't last. It didn't last till 2025.
No. They got a pretty good run out of it. I'm just glad that they identified that their concrete was sound.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or we might have ate a car.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So just a heads up, when that comes, it's going to be a chunk, and we'll have to have board approval for the funding to get that moving.
So street department knocked that ramp out, like I said. They're continuing to clean out ditches and drop-ins in preparation and after rainstorms. So streets are really taking care of business. Mechanic John Ruse is departing on the 22nd. So we thank him for his service, and he's moving on to pursue things that he would rather be doing, and maybe even educational programs. He wants to teach mechanical stuff, and I think that's great. We'll miss him. He was the goods. Cemetery crews beginning the mowing season. I believe we started a new part-time high school student, which is great.
Who's graduating in a few weeks.
There we go. And so we'll see more ramping up of the mowing out at the cemetery. So Just as a reminder, I always want to remind citizens to call the main office at 729-4811 if they've got electric, water, sewer, street issues. I get a lot of messaging and stuff, and that slows down the process. If it's after hours, if they call the police department immediately, that's the proper way to do it at 4242 for after hours issues. Electric, water leaks, et cetera. Electric, we prefer them to use hometown grid, but the police department's available. That gets them to the on-call roster and gets a response out as immediately as possible. So I had a couple other notes here. Talked about the outage. Missouri Lineman Day was Monday, so thanks to our linemen that do get out there and do the work with the stuff that will kill you, you know, the electric. We appreciate them. And that's what I've got. Did anybody have any questions?
No, just a note over on, I think it's Cardi where we have our contractor over there trimming trees.
Cardi?
Yeah. I don't know if they pulled the line loose or something, but there's like a cable stretched across Cardi. I'd have to look it up on Google Maps. I could tell you later. It's the corner of Cardi and I think it's, let me look real quick.
I can have the guys spin down by there. A lot of times, anytime you see something dangling, 9.5 times out of 10, it's comm cable.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I mean, I think that's what this is. I just, you know, low hanging, somebody tears it down, it might hit someone's vehicle over there.
better safe than sorry, so we'll jump on that. So,
It's the only thing I got, Steve. You guys are doing an awesome job. All right?
appreciate it. Thank you.
Can I add a little bit to Steve's report here? So, yes, I see your look on your face, like, what did I forget? So Steve and I spent a good portion of yesterday with some folks from Toth Engineering, so our new engineering firm, going to various project sites, just showing them what it is, talking them through what those were. We'd had a previous session where we video chatted, kind of going through our CIP about big projects that we had coming up. And so it was good to have them here in town and be able to show them, take them to the project sites and show them exactly what's going on, help them understand better. And so I know, you know, looking forward to working with them. I feel like it's a good rapport, good communication, good rapport.
Good.
And comfortable with them. They've already given a couple of suggestions about, you know, maybe looking at something a little differently or questions to ask about some projects that we have in process. So I appreciate that, so.
One of the nice things that I've noticed too was, let's say you've got a 200 foot of stormwater drainage and we're looking at, well, okay, this has to come out, you know, most likely and be replaced totally. And they're like, well, hold on, we can dig this and check it and we can line certain parts of it and we can replace certain parts. So they're not jumping out and just trying to automatically drive up the costs of projects.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to working with them. So.
Absolutely. That's all I have.
Thank you, Steve.
Oh, Miss Melissa, you kind of, come on up. You missed your coworker, Jason was here earlier, so. Was it Jason? Or Jonathan. Thanks, Devin.
Oh, John, yes.
I'm getting old.
Yeah, I'm Melissa now.
Yep, you give me 10 minutes, I'll lose everything.
You lost me for a second.
Yeah, it was just like, what's he talking about? Go ahead.
Just a reminder, summer ball registration is open, but it closes on the 16th. And I always have people that are very sad when they contact me and ask if they can still sign them up, and there has to be a point where I say no. I don't like to do it, but just a reminder for everybody, if anybody's watching, to please get those registrations in as soon as possible, so your kids are happy. I've heard a rumor that the pool's not gonna be open this summer.
I've heard that too.
So anything
Why?
that I heard probably isn't super accurate. Just throw that out there. The plan is for the pool to be opening. I wish people would stop posting stuff on Facebook because it spreads like wildfire. I get stopped at Walmart. I can't go into public without people stopping me. It's great. But the pool will be open. That is what is planned. I can't say that things won't happen and we might have issues, but we will deal with those as they come along. But the plan is that the pool will be open. So, want to clear the air.
Okay.
Good, I'm glad you did.
If anybody has any questions, please contact me directly.
No, you just answered my question.
So that's one of the things too with the public, like, there are multiple ways to contact me, and I try to be quick to respond. I have people usually reaching out on my private Facebook, work Facebook, cell phone, private cell phone. Just ask the question and you'll get the answer from the horse's mouth. So I'll just put that out there too.
All right.
Anybody have any questions for me?
I think so.
Have you got enough coaches for your league this year?
Never.
Never?
Never.
Let's put a plea out there. Come on, people, step up.
Yeah, usually it's really,
That help.
really hard to find coaches. And then,
Seems like John over here is interested.
No, I've
we'll
got,
welcome him.
I've got
He
some
asked
other
the question.
projects.
Yeah.
No,
I haven't looked yet for the softball and summer ball situations yet, but soccer was
I do
really
have a daughter
hard.
coaching, so I'm tied up with that little team.
Yeah, soccer was really hard to find coaches, but we did end up getting enough, but,
Good.
yep.
All right. Well, thank you, Melissa.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Tammy, do you have something for us?
I actually have a couple things.
All right.
So first off, I would like to thank the mayor for authorizing the closing of the admin building on April the 3rd for Record Management Day, is what we were calling it. We were able to get so much accomplished that day. We started here in this building. As some are aware, we had a large closet in this building that when we started on last year when we had this day, we couldn't get the door open. There were so many files in that closet, you couldn't get the door open. So last year, we were able to get part of the way through that closet. We've recognized records that we are able to destroy per the Missouri State retention schedule. And then this year, we have gotten to the back wall. We are able to go all the way to the back wall, and we've recognized more records that are ready to go. And I want to thank the staff for everything they did that morning, getting in there, the dust and all the things. We had lunch, and then we headed back to the admin building where staff worked on uploading files to Laserfish. We were able to get 16 years of minutes uploaded
Good
to
job.
Laserfish. That will help with records requests, staff that need to find items. It just will help so much in so many areas. So I'm thrilled. We're all thrilled. Everybody got in, that we work well together. We have a great team of employees that I want to recognize all of them. Second, this week is Telecommunications Week, and so for our dispatchers, if you see a dispatcher, thank them for what they do. A lot of people don't realize that as a dispatcher, the minute that phone rings, you have to be on it. You don't know what's coming in, so they have to know which questions to ask and what people they need to get in place to make sure that the person on the other end of that call gets the help that they need. So I want to thank our dispatchers at the police department because they are phenomenal people. So I think that's all I have.
Well, thank you guys for being awesome. Okay?
Thank you.
And hopefully we can do the records, some more of those records in the future to get a little bit more of that cleaned out.
And we had planned on having that list for approval to destroy this, but we weren't, there were quite a few things that we were trying to accomplish, and so we just weren't able to pull it together for this meeting, but I plan to have it on the next one.
Yeah, Sally took me on a nightmare of that closet, so yeah, I didn't realize that there was that much. You don't need a horror movie to get nightmares.
How many decades of records do you have?
Back to 1930.
30-something.
30.
Yeah, 1930s.
Yeah. And so
We got 16 years of it knocked out.
of the minutes.
Well, of the minutes.
Of the minutes.
But
Okay.
1933 is how far back that we've seen so far that there are records stored in this building. And so here's the other thing that tells me, and if you just think about it for a second, we have a long history of just shuffling files from one building to another, because this building was built in 39 and opened in 40.
Right.
So, yeah.
Steve, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, I just, I don't, we were saying closet size, it's a small garage.
Yeah. That's a garage? Looked like a janitor's closet.
Yeah, it's close to the size of the stage.
Yes.
Maybe not the full length,
No,
but
about half of it.
close to, better than half. 2/3 probably,
That's one car garage.
yeah.
I am glad that you guys got that out of the way before the tour, because
Clean it out, maybe we can-
I am very well insulated, so it took a while to walk through those halls.
And I forgot, and I apologize, the electric department came up and helped that day as well, and they cleaned out the old clerk's office and organized it, and it's awesome. And Steve.
And that guy, Steve. Yeah.
That's
right there at the
Steve,
end,
man.
Steve.
It was a great day, and we were able to accomplish a lot.
Good.
That's awesome.
It is.
So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right. Now we'll step it up to the last part of it. We're going to start with the board reports. Alderman Whalen at the end.
No report.
Alderwoman Dent.
I met with Angie Curley and had a talk with her about how to get people out to vote. So the Community Involvement Committee will probably be involved with the county, trying to get people out to vote for the primary in August and the general election in November.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
Alderman Letchworth?
Just wanted to say again, thanks to the dispatchers. It is their week, and I've been on the end of dispatchers telling me where to go and how to get there, and it's nice. And so not just for the city of Salem, but for the county too. I want to just thank those guys for what they do. And I've talked with some folks over the last couple of weeks, and we're talking about issues that you've seen in the news, like Kratom and things like that. And so I'd like to just take a moment and just to say that I think that there's a good census behind with the residents here of trying to get behind something of a ban or something like that. Anyway, start taking steps to looking into that to see where we can go with that within the city limits. So.
All right. Alderman Kinsey.
Nothing to report.
Well, it's been fun. Do I have a motion for adjournment?
I move that we adjourn.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I will call for the vote. Alderwoman Dent?
Yes.
Alderman Kinsey?
Yes.
Alderman Letchworth?
Yes.
And Alderman Whalen.
Yes.
Thank you all for attending tonight.